So it's Devon Franklin and Chrissy Metz. Breakthrough is the movie. And I mean, I obviously spend Tuesday nights with you and then last night with you. You don't really notice it, but and my tissues too.
I'm grateful.
And
Thank you.
Kleenex. Oh man, yeah. You were saying in the beginning that it was going to be emotional. You're like, look to your left, look to your right. Your neighbors are going to be sniffling. PK's arm was all like
what?
Yeah, it's a Kleenex and a popcorn movie.
And it's insane that it's a true story. And and oh my God, you're acting.
Isn't she amazing?
yeah.
Unbelievable.
Thank you.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, like a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Like for real.
Oh,
like I sit back and say, whoa, I have not seen a performance like this. I mean, it's been a really long time. And it's a blessing to like be a part of it when you can sit back and watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I was just like in awe of just because it's not like a moment in the movie that you have to turn it on. It's the majority of it, and you just took me there. I mean, like it was really unbelievable. Like, how difficult is that for you mentally to constantly have to put yourself in that situation?
Well, you know, on a cellular level, our bodies don't really know the difference from like what we're experiencing, whether it's make believe, right, or we're portraying a character in real life. So I always sort of like calm myself down. I'm like, this isn't really happening. Chrissy, it's gonna be okay. Everybody's okay, and really, John Smith is healthy and happy, and everything's good. So I sort of have to like brace myself for that because we stay in these scenes for hours at a time. You know, it doesn't just happen. You know, one take and you're done. So yeah, you definitely have to pace yourself and decompress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did you guys end up linking up? How did you find?
Well, I've been praying for no.
She's been praying, you know. I heard the prayers.
Yes.
I said, I got a project for you, Chris. I got it.
That's right.
Your prayers are answered.
Because I feel like this movie couldn't have been done with you in that role.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's 1,000% right. You know, I found the story a couple years ago and started developing the script, sold it to 20th Century Fox. And, you know, once we got to the place where we found our director, Roxanne Dawson, who's brilliant, we were trying to find our star. And it was literally one of one. And the studio was clear. You get Chrissy Metz, you got a movie. If you don't, sorry.
Yeah.
And so it became the priority to try to get her. Thankfully, she said yes. And then once we got Chrissy locked in, it was a matter of figuring out the production and then casting John. And we did a nationwide search to find, you know, who was going to play John Smith, the young boy who falls through the ice. And we found Marcel Ruiz from the show One Day at a Time on Netflix.
He's incredible.
He did a
as
brilliant
well.
job.
Beyond.
Yeah,
You know,
really
also,
did.
Topher Grace did a great
Did he?
job.
Wasn't he like spot on in that character?
Yes, Topher was amazing.
Everyone really showed up.
Oh, and I was mad at you.
Showed up and showed out.
I was so mad at you too.
What were you mad
They were doing the rap and when they were in the church, and I don't want to give too much stuff away, but I mean, you really took me there with this character, and
thank you.
it's just like what a great movie.
Yeah,
what a
thank
honestly
you.
great movie.
Yeah.
How difficult was it to make this? Because I've heard in Hollywood it's not the easiest to do a movie.
You know, it was
faith-based.
hard.
Yeah.
It was hard in that, you know, every movie is a miracle. And this movie was certainly no exception. And, you know, to be able to, one, get the script to a place where it was ready to be made, find our director, find our star. And then, you know, the production was challenging because we had to shoot on a frozen lake. And there was only one place in North America that we could do that in February, which was Winnipeg. And so we went to Winnipeg, Canada. And it was crazy. We shot 2 days on a frozen lake. And then we did that during prep. And then we went back to prepping the movie, and then we shot 3 days in a tank where you could get all the underwater shots. And we shot the movie in about 32 days. So we had a lot of movie to get in a little bit of time. So it was very, very challenging. A lot of elements. And Marcel is, you know, he's a teenager. So in Hollywood, you can't just work teenagers, you know, like we work Chrissy.
Right. Yeah, you
Couldn't do that.
You can't have them on set for 18 hours.
No, so it really restricted what we could do and how we could do it. But, you know, we had a fantastic team led by our director, Roxanne, and we were able to persevere through all the challenges.
And it's such a collaborative thing. You know, everybody has to show up and be ready to really, like, work.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a village, and it's a collaborative art. And
Without a doubt.
You know.
How was it on the first day of the set for you?
Girl, you don't understand. So the first day was the prayer scene when Joyce prays over John.
Yeah.
And he comes back to life. So I literally
That was
like
day one?
Day one.
Oh.
Like hour one. I literally was like, "Hi, good morning. Hey, we're gonna do this.
ready.
Okay.
Why does that happen?
How?
No, why though? Because I know there's a couple of movies that their most powerful scene is one of the first ones that they've shot.
I think it
For
depends on
us-
location. It depends on availability.
Yeah,
all
and
that.
Chrissy was shooting. She was still on This Is Us when we started, so we didn't have her for the first 2 weeks, and she was on a book tour. That's really what it was, a book tour.
yes,
You might have been here Atlanta because I know you're just down the street.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout out. This is
was.
me, Chrissy Metz. Get the book.
Get the book.
Thank you.
And because she was on the book tour, we had to start shooting the first two weeks without her. So we shot as much stuff as we could, and we were only in that hospital location for a short period of time. And it just so happened that it fell the very first week that she was shooting, and we needed to get that scene done for a variety of reasons. But she was ready.
That was such
She was ready.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, that's a scene that's that powerful. How many times do you have to do it?
Well, I think we did it, 10?
Yeah,
10
yeah,
times?
over 10. I mean, but every time she did it, we were destroyed. We were behind. We were crying. I mean, truly, I've told Chrissy this. I've obviously worked on the film for some time, and I've met the real family and all that. But I did not understand really what the real mother did until Chrissy's performance. Watching, like, John Smith was dead. He wasn't fighting for his life. He wasn't on life support. And what's crazy is that there you're seeing your dead son, and you have to go into another place mentally to say, I'm not gonna let what I see impact what I'm getting ready to do. So the way that Chrissy went in there every single take, and literally, if somebody was dead on that set, Chrissy was about to resurrect him with that performance.
I don't know.
That's so true. That is so true. I mean, seriously,
so
that thing
much.
was, she did amazing. So, you know.
What do you see when you look at that scene?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I could have done this. I should have done that. I pick apart every single thing. You know, I think it's difficult. Yeah, it's difficult to be objective. I mean, I do see that, okay, I believe that I meant what I said, but I always think that there's room for improvement because that's just, I think, as an actor, as somebody who's creative, we always want to keep continuing to get better. But I really try to set everything aside, and like, if I was gonna have a Viola Davis moment with the snot bubble, I didn't care. Like, if I was gonna have my hair in my face, and I didn't care. Like, it wasn't about me. It was about portraying this particular scene. And so, I hope, and I think I feel better because Joyce is happy, and John and the family is happy, and so then I can say, okay. But it's hard to be objective. Yeah.
and just seeing like the power of community come together, and then the way you guys portrayed it in the movie was just beautiful.
Was there anything in the movie that was exaggerated, or did everything happen?
Was anything exaggerated?
Because because sometimes you have to, when you're making a movie, you have to move events, or you're still making a movie.
You know, pretty much the gist of everything that happened, that we portrayed in the film, happened in real life. I will say Tommy Shine in real life is white. He's played by a black guy, Mike Coulter.
Yeah.
I love that's the other thing I loved about the movie.
Isn't he amazing?
Yeah.
I loved how everything was crossed barriers in the
yeah.
movie as well. I just think nowadays and age with everybody so angry that like a movie like this will bring people together.
Exactly, and I think that's one of the things that gets us excited about telling the story is that, here you have a young boy who was adopted from Guatemala, by an all-white family, in
the Midwest.
Yeah. The community, which is diverse, comes around him, and it's not about, here's the adopted kid or any of that. It's like, this is our son. We're going to pray for him. We're going to intercede for him. And I think it just reminds us that we all matter. And what happens, what can happen if we put our differences aside? And we just look at each other as people. And we decide that we're going to love, not judge, but love. And when you see that breakthrough moment happen in the movie, it's not just about him coming back to life. It's about the life happening for that community, especially when you see him stand at the end. It's like, okay. Speaking of standing, that's a good segue for her song. Do you know about her song?
Oh, yeah, I was gonna sing the music because going back to this is you sing, you're so beautiful. But then tell us about like the music here because you're on like the soundtrack. You're on the soundtrack,
which is a dream, has always been a dream of mine. And for Diane Warren, a legendary songwriter, to write a song that she was so inspired to write because of that incredible scene, which. I mean, I was there, and there were, 500 background artists, and the real family was there. It was such a powerful time that I can't even really explain it. And so to sing the song that Diane was inspired to write, as the through line, and I'm standing with you, through everything, no matter what you go through. And that's what Joyce did for John. So to sing the song is like, what? It's so exciting.
And, she doesn't just sing it, she sings the song.
You guys are so great together, too.
Thank you. Well, it's not hard.
No,
it's not hard.
Exactly, not hard. Exactly.
It's not. So, yeah, it's really all just a dream on top of a dream come true. So, I'm pinching myself every second I can. So
Do you have any advice for me when I'm trying to lie to the boss or Denise?
Lie?
Be a better actor?
Lie?
Because I always get busted. The other night, I snuck a piece of pizza in the middle of the night.
No,
No.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm not going to enable you, and I don't think this is smart to lie.
Maybe lying is not a
Lie
good
to
term.
a significant other that you love very much because you know the
better actor.
value in the relationship. So you don't want to lie.
Right.
However, if you don't want to come to work and you don't feel well and you need like a day off, if whatever you say it with conviction, you're well on your way. So just believe what you're saying. Conviction. Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I know you already know the answer. Yes, I snuck the pudding into the bathroom.
Oh, what kind was it?
Pudding in the bathroom.
I get yelled at, so I have to. And then she finds the cups in the trash can.
I realized she was, why doesn't she want you to have the pudding? So, right, let's funnel the feelings. What's really going on?
Pudding in the bathroom.
You don't eat pudding in the bathroom?
I know. Maybe I got to try it.
I think I have before. Yeah. And I'm not even married, so. That's a bigger problem, I guess.
Seriously, though, for the young people that are listening to this, because there's so many people in Atlanta that do want to do what you guys are doing, what is that real advice? Maybe something that, I don't know, like what would have helped you back when you were 16, 17, 18, 21, 22?
Well, I think for me, I always take things very personally. And that if somebody was telling me no 18 times, I'm like, that means it's a sign that I shouldn't be doing what I want to do. That's not true, because I think if something's placed upon your heart, you have to follow through on that, and that it's not personal, and that your no is for your good, right? As we say, God's rejection is your protection.
That's right.
And so there are things that are gearing you up for what it is that you're really intended for, and so you have to set that the ego and the pride aside, and just put the work in, and stand in line long enough. I mean, it took 12 years. For me, 12 very long years. Very long years. And
Talk about not letting go.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And when you want to do something. And so I think it's really about that.
Absolutely.
Hanging on.
Absolutely. Without a doubt. I mean, I started in entertainment when I was 18 years old, and I knew I wanted to produce films and have my own company. But that didn't happen for 18 years. So I didn't actually start Franklin Entertainment and start producing my own content until I was 36. And so I would really encourage anyone who really wants to do this or anything in life. You have to carry a crown before you wear one. That means you got to commit to the process. You got to serve. You got to prepare, and you got to be patient. This generation wants it. I mean, haven't worked for it.
Yesterday.
They want it yesterday.
You're so
And
right.
what happens, though, if you were to get what you want now and you haven't worked for it, the weight of what you want will crush you because you don't have the character, the integrity, or the experience to handle it. So the preparation process builds all those things so that when it actually happens, you know what to do with it. Chrissy, you look at the 12 years, that wasn't just 12 years of being frustrated and angry. It was 12 years of preparing and getting ready so that now the weight of it, people see this as us in the movie. Oh, this is fun and game. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of talent, and you got to know what you're doing. There's a lot on the line. So when you look at her or you look at myself, don't take the tree and say, oh, look at that tree. Well, no, the roots go real, real deep here. And build your roots, and eventually it will happen.
That's awesome. Thank you both so much.
Yes. We're at church.
I know.
Oh, man.
There's the offering plate. We're at church.
I heart. There it is.
It's a great movie. It's such a good film.
Thank you.
It's not out for a while, though, right?
April 17th.
April 17th.
April 17th.
Sooner than you know it.
That's right.
Just right around the corner.
Easter will
Definitely
be
check
here.
it out. I mean, it's what we need. Thank you both for coming in.
Thank you.